sure.
Yeah.
Go. Gotta get their fast shot.
Yeah.
Gotta get their fast shot. There it is.
Hello Britball Nation, I'm Nick Wilson-Tower, Editor-in-Chief here at DoubleCoverage.com, and welcome to the Power Rankings following Week 6 of the BAFA Adult National Leagues. A great weekend of balling saw some big scorelines and even bigger ramifications, so let's take a look at how this has all affected the rankings. But before we jump in, remember that you too can do your bit to grow the game by assisting DC in reaching as wide an audience as possible. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already, share our vids and posts on Facebook and retweet them on Twitter. It might not seem like much, but it really helps us out in growing the number of people we can promote the British game to, which is ultimately what we're all about here at DC. Now let's see those rankings. Lancashire continue to languish in the bottom spot following a second straight loss. They at least managed to make a good game of it in the second half, but they need to find more firepower earlier in their fixtures if they want to keep pace in the top tier. Wolverines face Wolves up north of the Wall on Sunday, and following a narrow loss against the conference favourites, the Tamworth Phoenix, the Wolves are likely to be hungry for a win.
10.
The Giants have a couple of R&R weeks to recover from their tumultuous start to the season, leaving them locked in at number 10.
9.
We're not sure if there is actually any relegation from the Premiership South this season, but Sunday's loss now locks the Knights in as favourites for the Wooden Spoon. They don't lack for ability and kept pace with the Saints through much of Sunday's fixture. However, with Aaron Sequilor providing a hefty chunk of the Knights' ball movement, it seemed Farnham ran out of steam as the fixture ground on, allowing the Bury Saints to pull well ahead in the second half and post up their first 50 burger of the year. A buoyed London Blitz side visit this weekend, so the Knights' year isn't about to get any easier.
8.
A second win for the Nighthawks with another big offensive scoreline, but also likely more points conceded than their coach and staff would like to see, seeing as they've opened their season against what appear to be two of the softer sides in their conference. They get their first big test of the season this Sunday as they welcome the conference faves, the Tamworth Phoenix, to their roost. At the midway point of 5 straight fixtures, this matchup could already be make or break for the Nighthawks' hopes of a repeat playoff trip this year.
7.
Wolves slide a little in the ranks courtesy of another team climbing. They'll feel frustrated by the strong but not strong enough performance against the Phoenix at the weekend, and certainly should feel their current 1-2-1 record doesn't represent their performance so far this season. Week 7 kicks off a portion of their season against some of the Prem North's lower ranked sides, so the Wolves will be gunning to rack up some big wins and a higher spot in the rankings as they face the Wolverines on Sunday.
6.
The Pirates stay afloat in the middle of the table. We'll see them again in Week 8 against the Wolverines, but the crucial part of their season kicks off in Week 10 when they'll have a shot at retaking their place as the Premier team in the North if they can upset the Phoenix.
5.
A big performance from the Saints on Sunday, who looked much more like the side that dominated Division 1 in 2016. Fred Boyle led an aerial attack that the Knights secondary appeared to have no answers to, while perhaps the Saints' trial by fire start to the season gave them the resilience to outlast the Knights in the second half.
4.
With Tamworth barely scraping through for a win north of the Wall, there was talk of shifting Bristol into the top 3, but only 2 games into their season, and the truth is we don't really know where the Aztecs are yet this year. They'll return from 3 byes in Week 8 taking on the Warriors. Will they be able to hold their own against a Warriors side that isn't looking quite as dominant as we'd come to expect at this point in the season?
3.
Tamworth made the long trip up to Edinburgh somewhat thin on the ground, particularly when it came to offensive linemen. As such, their more modest than expected victory perhaps doesn't reflect so badly on the Midland side. They'll look to return to form against the Nighthawks this weekend, though another shaky performance could have us questioning whether there's actually any powerhouses left in the north.
2.
Yup, the Warriors are finally dethroned for the first time in probably 2 or 3 seasons of our Premiership power rankings. Whether it was a Euro balling hangover or an element of complacency or just the Blitz balling out when they needed to, Sunday was the Warriors' first domestic loss since 2015 and gives the Blitz the lead in the Prem South. Lest we forget, however, this was just the first of 3 regular season jousts between the nation's top 2 teams, and therefore is just an appetizer in what should be a contentious fight for the number 1 seed in the South this season. Their second fixture against the Saints approaches on Sunday, and would expect the Warriors to bounce right back in this game with a big scoreline similar to that of their Week 2 meeting.
1.
As the article we shared this week proclaimed, London turned blue once again this week as the Blitz overcame the Warriors following 4 straight losses, which include 2 Britballs, against their cross-city rivals. Considering there were concerns coming into the year that the Blitz would fall even further behind the pace set by the Warriors, it's a great thing for the game to see that things at the top of the British game should once again come right down to the wire this season. And there you have it, nation. That's what we wound up with when looking at the rankings in this tier. Do you agree? We're fairly certain a good chunk of you don't, so let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. Remember that DC can only keep doing what we do if we have the support of the community. We've got some huge plans to change the way the Britball Nation is able to reach out to the wider sporting community, but we need your help to make them a reality. We're looking for funds to revolutionise our site and make it a true hub for all things Britball, while at the same time ensuring DC is able to become sustainable past the next few months and keep supporting and growing the game. As such, if you're one of the thousands that engages with our content each and every day, we'd really love if you head over to gofundme.com/dblcoverage and spare a $5 or whatever you think 7 days a week of Britball content is worth. Our thanks to those who have stepped up and contributed already, but we're a long way from our goal, so all further support is incredibly appreciated. With that said, remember to play hard, play safe, and quick, go nag your team media person to ship some highlights over to us for the week 6 highlight video. We've been growing the number of teams involved each week and we want this to be the biggest one yet.